I think James Ward-Prowse is very overrated. Not even like somewhat overrated. I think he's very overrated. Like, he shouldn't be in the England conversation.
Welcome back to the podcast. It's your three favourite people here to talk to you about the beautiful game we all know and love. Occasionally, sometimes. We don't wanna love it. In my case, I haven't loved the game in about 4 weeks. I don't think we've won a game in about 4 weeks now. So it's getting a bit rough.
I fell out of love with it for roughly 45 minutes, which was the time between when Willian Jose's goal against Fulham got ruled out and Adama Traore scored the winner.
Oh my days! I know we had a plan for what we're going to do for this podcast, but really quickly, and we have to talk about VAR. I just come to my head because this isn't the sport. Say what you want about VAR. You might like it, you might hate it, like 90% of the population. This isn't the sport that we all kind of fell in love with, really. It's kind of ruined it. When you see the Willian Jose decision, it was absolutely disgusting. And there was another one for Liverpool yesterday, which was also disgusting. It's just, like, I don't care who is behind it. I don't care if it's got to go. It's something that needs to be fixed because this is terrible.
Just to add on that, I don't think the offside, like this... one thing that I'm despising at the minute is people going, oh, the offside rule needs to be changed. It needs to be that an attacker can have no matter what you change it to, there's always going to be a situation where it's millimetre.
I understand what you're saying, but I think the thing is with that is that the Wenger rule that, you know, he came up with about a part where you can score with, if that's offside, then it's offside. I like that because the amount of times, majority of offside rules are just because of hands. Like the last two today were literally just arms, shirt, sleeves.
No, it's what you can score with at the minute, I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not. It's about arms because those two were literally arms.
They were both ruled off by the arms.
Yeah, it was his shirt sleeve, which you can score with.
Yeah, you can't. No, you can't. No. Willian Jose's one, for example, was because his arm was out and in line with the Fulham player's arm. So either way, that would have been ruled out. That's a goal there already. That changes the dynamic of the league pretty much straight away already.
But taking away that, from going back to my point, even if you change it to a part where you can score with, there's always going to be a situation where, I don't know, the shoulder which you can score with will be in line with a foot and it'd be millimetres and you'll still have that issue. The only way we're going to stop that is
I think those situations, like, you can get all the lines out you want and stuff, but when it's that close, it's impossible to properly tell whether they're actually in line.
Unless you get a drone, freeze them, blow the whistle, stop there, stop where you are.
with those decisions, if it takes you 2 minutes to make your decision while looking at VAR, just leave it. Just give it.
Just go with what the on-field decision was. I think. I think if the linesman's put his flag up for it, then go with it.
Yeah.
I think the problem is I heard on Sky Sports someone saying, if you got rid of VAR now, I think everyone would just be talking about how VAR would have sorted this issue out.
I don't think get rid of VAR, but I think in those minutely close situations, leave it to the on-field decision.
Yeah.
So
which then means you have to get the linesman to put his flag up beforehand. I don't get that rule. I really don't understand that rule at all. I think linesman should
put having a linesman really at this point now then?
Like, put his flag up, but make sure the players know not to play to the linesman's flag, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So we can put it up. You play to the whistle. You taught it from a young age, play to the whistle. Linesman put his flag up. If the defenders stop, then that's their own fault that the referee hasn't blown the whistle.
Yeah.
And just play on, and then you've now got the decision of, we've got the on-field decision of it's a offside, and then rugby does it perfectly. They go, so for example, for a try, you got on-field decision try, and it'll be the VAR or the TMO they call it. The TMO has to disprove it, and if they cannot disprove that, then on-field decision stays.
Because
I think what's also important is
you look at the VAR screen there and you think that does not disprove that is off or onside.
Yeah, so then you just go right on-field decision, and the player's got to. But it's because football doesn't want to copy anymore.
It just sucks, and they don't want to copy people. And I want to hear the referees because that's ridiculous as well. Why can't I hear what's going on? These that are absolutely.
It's because it's. I think it's because of the language. You'd have to basically.
Oh well, you can hear when there's no fans anywhere. You can hear the language anyway. I mean, we all know some funny quotes that we've heard recently in the Premier League.
But
Rob
it's
Holding said a fair few funny things.
It is the whole thing of the. I think that's why they do it. It's not like with Formula One where they've got a couple of seconds to bleep out the radio. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm pretty sure rugby, they're not allowed to swear. And
Just sign them for doing it. They're all paid enough anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's another thing is you start to sin bin swearing, which is what Sunday League is. You get a yellow card for swearing. You have to go off on the sin bin for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Either way, we're not the VAR haters podcast. We are the active podcast, and talk about things that were active this week. The most active game has to be Man City Leeds, because what a game! Stuart Dallas is goated in Leeds law at this point, because I don't know if you've seen the stats, but I'm pretty sure they had like less than 30% possession. I think it was like 28% possession. They had 2 shots on target and they scored both of them.
It was definitely the least Leeds performance that I ever seen.
Yeah.
This season.
But that is the genius of Bielsa. That's what he brings.
They were down to 10 men. You can't blame them for sitting back and defending, and they did it perfectly. So fair play.
Tuchel, take some notes, lad.
It was amazing. It was like Darth Vader and Darth Sidious battling it out. The master and the apprentice, who was going to win. And Bielsa showed Pep why he is the GOAT, why he's the boss, and why he looks up to him. Because that was, I mean, a fair play for Stuart Dallas. I mean, no one's rated him this season, but I mean, those was only 2 goals this season. I don't think he scored many this season. The great finishes, took his chance as well. Absent strikers on their part. Also, Melia was insanely good. Yeah. I know they had like 29 shots and only like 7 were on target, but some of the saves he made, like the things he pulled out, were class. And for 21 years old, I mean, people don't understand how young this kid is.
He's a class keeper.
He is a class keeper. I mean, even against Arsenal, he was really good, even though he shipped loads of goals. The saves he made against them were great. Wolves, he was really good until obviously he had that blunder where, I mean, you can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, it wasn't really a blunder. I wouldn't call it a blunder. It was just unfortunate.
Just a shame. Yeah. I think we're seeing, this is the kind of hype that we had around like De Gea when he had his couple, I think like 2nd or 3rd season in, and everyone was like, wow, this kid is really good. Well, not kid, but he was good. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as De Gea, but this is the kind of clashes. You don't really see class in goalkeepers very often. You don't really like notice it until like it's really good. I think you could say maybe the back end of last season with our boy Martinez. Yeah, because he was class as well, and he deserved that move. I can't see Leeds ever getting rid of Melia. I think they'll keep him until
they'll hold on to him as long as they can. I don't know how long that will be, because eventually, if he keeps on like this, someone's going to offer big money for him.
Yep.
But yeah, you don't really see keepers get to this level this young
ever,
unless it's like a really special talent, you know. Not quite going to compare him to Donnarumma, but that's another example of a keeper.
Yeah.
Coming through really young and being so good at a young age. So yeah, he's got, you know, the ceiling to be one of the best keepers in the Premier League, if not the world. Melia.
Yeah.
You heard it here
first. Got so much time as well. We predicted it. We are the prediction kings. We did it with Smith Rowe. Who else? We've done it with other people, surely. But either way, I think to be that, because you're such an important position as well as a goalkeeper, you know, the last line of defence, the pressure you have to feel, you know, you've seen so many others crack underneath it, Kepa being one of them, who's cracked different, crumbled like the apple crumble or something. It was crazy. So I don't know where we're at.
Just to add into Kepa, he's been priced at 20 mil.
Yeah, I mean
20
we bought him
mil
for 70.
Do you know what's so funny as well is that no one's paying that at all. Like no one's gonna pay that either way, which is what I love.
70 mil to sell him for 20 at a max. That's ridiculous. That's how bad he's flopped. But anyway, it's not.
I think Kepa's one of the worst transfers ever
in the Premier League. Are you calling it that right now?
Danny Drinkwater's up there as well. But I mean,
I need that.
The price tag. He's the record signing for a goalkeeper, and he's up there. I'm not saying he's the worst transfer of all time, but he's one of them. Just for the price.
He's probably one of them, yeah. Yeah, he probably is actually. But yeah, for that price tag, to be fair, I have to rate it. I also have to talk about Man City a little bit because, I mean, Pep didn't play Gundogan. This is his 3rd game without playing, like starting, until like came on the last 10 minutes, I think. Which is weird because he was so good beforehand. I don't know what's going on. He's not been injured. De Bruyne didn't play.
Tinkering,
I don't know if he's injured or not. But what?
I mean,
Hello?
I think Pep just kind of...
Yeah, he's getting a bit too happy.
He'll find a system that's working, and then all of a sudden he'll just change it because he's like,
I'm bored.
it work. Yeah, pretty much.
Can I agree with that? When I play Football Manager too many times, I'm thinking, can I fit a Mazzano in here? Something like that. So I get why he's doing it, but
Yeah.
I have to also think about Jesus because he was poor. I think everyone's talking about how he's going to be the understudy to Aguero when he just hasn't been. I don't know if he ever will be that good. I kind of liked Man City more when they had De Bruyne as like a centre forward. I think they were at their best then. And I think they could carry on doing that. De Bruyne just signed a new contract. They said they're probably not going to sign a new striker. They could keep doing this Jesus and hope for the best thing. But honestly, I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's got the quality. I think De Bruyne is the one. And have the Gundogan behind him. Ferran Torres scored another goal. He was good. Yeah, it was a good game, to be fair.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed it.
But yeah, another good game was the El Clasico.
The big game. The numero uno game.
A bit of Espanol. Come on. Muy bien. I'll tell you what, I watched that.
Español.
Oh my God. Wow. We've become El Activo podcast. I watched the El Clasico last season and it was really dry. So I was a bit hesitant about watching it this season. But when you look at the season in La Liga, like the league table is looking a bit mad because before that, I think it was like 1 point. I think Real were 1 point off Atletico, and Barcelona were 2 points off Atletico. So it was really close. Whoever won that was going to go top of the league. And I mean, what a game it was. Benzema's little back heel. Do you know what I mean? Like LTB, pro clubs kind of goals. It was class. Yeah, I really liked it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think this game, along with the Liverpool game for Real Madrid, has kind of been a big improvement for Vinicius Junior because he signed for like 45 million to 2-3 years ago now. He's been around a long time and he's still only 20, and he's never really like improved a whole lot. He's just stayed at a similar level. But last couple games, he was really, really good against Liverpool. Scored a couple great goals, and again against Barcelona, he just caused havoc with his running and his dribbling. Didn't get a goal this time out, but like the Barcelona defense isn't great, and coming up against a guy like him, they really struggle to deal with him.
What side does he play? Is he right wing or left wing?
Left.
Aspie's gonna pocket him.
Oh my God! Oh my days! He's just not though, is he?
Oh, he
isn't though.
Don't you worry about
Aspie has got no pace. Vinicius has plenty.
It doesn't matter about pace. Aspie pocketed him.
I mean, you have to rate Zidane now because I looked at the stat and they've had like 53 separate injuries this season, and still they are top of La Liga and they're in the running for the Champions League.
I could be wrong. As current because they've just played, but I'm pretty sure there was something like they have had more injuries than they have scored goals this season.
And half of them are Eden Hazard.
I mean, it might not be correct now. It was correct a couple of weeks ago. I think it was something like 53 injuries and 51 goals or something like that.
That is crazy.
But yeah, imagine.
I mean, they have
goals.
3 out of 4 their starting back 4 weren't there. They had no Ramos, no Varane, no Carvajal. Sorry,
They're still injured.
I mean, they are. Well, Ramos is going to be out for a while. I think Varane's just sick. He's got COVID.
Varane had COVID.
Yeah. And then I don't know what's wrong with Carvajal, but I mean, to still boss it with whoever he had at the back, I can't remember who it was now. Clearly shows that class. And, Militao's been there. I mean, Militao is a decent backup centre back, and he can play right back. And Cruz all of a sudden has decided he wants to turn into prime Xavi or prime Zidane with these long passes he made. He scored a crazy good free kick last night, which was like, I can't believe it went in. I didn't think it was going to win.
I don't say it was crazy. It deflected. But
yeah, it deflected, but I mean, he still had the sauce. It was
going straight towards the keeper.
It was calculated. He saw Serginho Dest and he was like, I'm gonna ricochet it off his shoulder and it's gonna go in. And it was class. That's the class he brings. Although he's kind of old now and he has absolutely no pace. His passing is unmatched still. So you have to rate him. That's El Clasico. I don't want to talk too much about Spanish football because there's not many Spanish dons in this audience. But that was El Clasico. I rated it very much.
But a bit more exciting game. I think it's a bit more of an exciting game to talk about. Chelsea versus Palace.
Obviously.
Here we go. Here we go. Of course, you have to bring up his club. To be fair, do you know what? We'd all doubted Kai Havertz in this season completely. And to be fair, he did it. Yeah, he was making it look like he was training. You know, them one-on-one games on FIFA where it's just you and the keeper. It just felt like that. Like he was absolutely tearing it up. Scored a great goal. Did he get 1 assist or 2 assists?
He got a goal and an assist. I mean, I don't want to hype it up too much. I've already said to Jacob that I don't. It's Crystal Palace we played against at the end of the day. It's a step up from the Championship side.
You're so scared now. I remember you at the start of the season. If this was the start of the season, you'd be like, Havertz is the best in the world. He's absolutely amazing. Wait till later on in the season, he's going to be the best. And now it's just...
The problem is...
The club has killed your dreams, bro.
I don't know if you guys watched the full game, but Havertz could have easily had a hat-trick. Like, really easily had a hat-trick, and he didn't score a hat-trick. So
he had a couple of tame shots.
He can't. I don't think he can put power on his shots or his passing. He really struggles. Like, really struggles.
What is it that is? What's his strong suit then? Because if he can't do long passes and he can't shoot,
well, I'm not saying he can't do long passes. I'm just saying he can't do it powerfully. It just rolls.
I mean, he's all about positioning, isn't he? And his off the ball movement, and his ability to find space in the box. And of course, he is a good dribbler, and we saw that great bit of skill at one point where he flicked it over the defender's head and then couldn't quite finish it. But
I was screaming.
That was mad.
His accuracy with his finishes is good. He just needs to get a bit more power on it.
Yeah,
but the goal he scored is a great finish. Just places it in the bottom corner.
Yeah. I mean, there was one near the end of the game where Ziyech plays him in, basically one-on-one, and he uses his right foot and she just taps it right at the keeper, and it's like, just blast it. But the assist
that's another
was
thing.
classed to Pulisic.
He is left-footed, isn't he? And that probably the other two big chances that he had, the one where he flicked it over and then volleyed it, and then that one where Ziyech fed him, both of them were with his right foot. You know, so it's weak foot.
So, but yeah, Pulisic, he's back. He's back again for the last 10 games of the season.
How long was he out for?
Well, I say he's back. I meant just his form. He's been somewhat...
I mean, that's even worse. I actually just thought he was injured because I haven't seen him. So, honestly, that's even worse.
So, Tuchel hasn't been picking him, and people have been criticising for this. But if... by the end of the season, Pulisic doesn't get another injury, and it means that he spends the whole of the summer without injury, and he can do pre-season, doesn't get injured then. That's great management from Tuchel, because Lampard, when he brought him back when he was just recovering. And it might be just the fact that Pulisic takes longer to recover than most people.
Yeah, it could be. That's kind of what makes a good manager, though, understanding someone's body and understanding that kind of stuff. Also, I think it's a bit more than that. It's just that he's probably still learning his team. I mean, he doesn't know his starting 11 yet. He's only been here a few months. So it's going to take a bit longer than that. I think when you get into the start of next season, he'll have an ironed-on 11. You've got a lot of depth, though. So
3 goals in 3 games for Pulisic.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he scored 2 today, didn't he?
Yeah, he scored 2. But what I finished the first one was... just absolutely leathers it into the roof of the goal.
It's a good goal. Not Dubravka.
Gaeta.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he knew nothing about that, so you have to rate him. But
other than that, I mean, it was just an average performance. We could have won that game 7-0 or something like stupid like that.
I mean, the one thing that kind of marred that win is the fact you let Benteke score against you, which is just, I mean, when
you've got Ben Chilwell at the back post with Benteke over the top of him, there's just only ever one outcome. Let's be brutally honest.
The thing is with Palace, like the score's 3-1, and that looks on the surface like a respectable result for Palace against a team like Chelsea. But the fact is that 4-1, yeah. But like the fact is, it could have been 7-0 or 8-0, and Palace scored their one shot in the entire game. They had one shot.
The only shot of the game.
And like, I honestly think Palace, since like Christmas, have been probably the 3rd worst team in the league. Like, they've been worse than Fulham.
You think so?
they've arguably been worse than Sheffield United. They have, by stats at least, they have the second worst attack in the whole league, behind Sheffield United, way behind Fulham, behind Newcastle. I mean,
really,
the only West Brom's attack is worse. And
wow, I didn't even know that.
Am I right in saying they haven't scored at home, or hadn't scored at home for ages, or something like that?
I'm not sure, but like their squad as well. If you look through their squad, how many players in that squad are like actually good players? You got Zaha.
They were old.
You got Eze.
Zaha, yeah.
You got maybe Milivojevic. The keeper's decent. What else is there? Andros Townsend.
They're old as well.
They had a good start to the season.
They're so old.
They had like decent start. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of riding off that. But like you said, their squad is ridiculously old. And like if they don't make some major change in the summer, I would label them as relegation candidates next season.
I think a lot of their players are their contracts up at the end of the season.
Well, that's the thing. So, I mean, the only problem is with some of their squad is, I mean, mainly looking at Zaha, is Zaha signed a suicide contract. I don't understand why he signed that contract. Was it 2 seasons ago now? Because we were literally this season after he signed that contract, and obviously we got Pepe instead. I would have rather had Zaha just because he had Premier League experience and he was a bit older, which was not the best thing. But looking back, Pepe it's been a bit of a mix because I'd say they're a similar kind of level. Pepe scored a fair few goals and got a fair few assists. Zaha has kind of carried that team. And I think if he had a decent squad around, it would have been great. We're actually linked with him again, apparently, to come back. I don't see that happening, to be honest. I just kind of feel bad for him.
You sign old players.
He's not that old. He's like 27.
Yeah, but that's give him another year. When he turns 29, you'll sign him.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm like this guy. I can't see us signing him. If we sign him, it would be a really big step backwards. If we didn't sign him this summer, we just don't need another winger. Like we've got like plenty of wingers. We've got so many wingers, and I can't really see it being a step up from what we already have. So no. We have a game today, which we're filming before our game. So you missed out on the rage of release. If we actually use the Sheffield United, there's no way. There's no way, is there?
Oh, I wouldn't say anything too soon.
It's Arsenal.
This could look really bad on the podcast.
We can't not win to Sheffield United. We can't not win. Because we've been so poor recently. Sorry, we can move on. I'm just thinking how.
I don't want to talk about Arsenal.
Wow. Sorry, I didn't know you run the show you in. It's not like
I do now.
Go on then, move on.
Talking from a dead team to a dead player, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Listen, you keep saying he's a dead player, and understandably in some games, I mean, he got absolutely terrorised against Real Madrid in the Champions League, and I imagine he'll get terrorised again this week. I just don't think he's as bad as everyone says.
Look, right. I'm probably thinking more of the old right backs, right? But a typical right back at the end of the day,
oh my God,
your main job is to defend. But you've still got to defend.
It's not the same thing anymore. The right back.
Are you going to put Eden Hazard at left? Are you going to put Eden Hazard at left back?
No. Listen. You listening, right? Some aspect of right back or full back in general is yes to defend, but it's not the main point anymore. A lot of it is carrying the ball and being a link between the wings and the defense, right? Being that link, and also making really good diagonal forward passes. That's kind of your job.
You still have to
doing
defend.
Your overlap, being part of the attack. Yeah, but a lot of the job now is more about the attack than it is defending. But yes, I understand.
Let's split it into a third.
You need to have someone who's competent defensively.
A third of it's defending, and that third is really bad.
He's not as bad at defending as people make him out to be.
Oh, he
makes defensive errors.
He makes sus at the back. I won't lie.
He makes defensive errors, and he has like moments that get a lot of press where people get past him easily, and that obviously that's going to happen because that happens with almost every defender.
Right.
The fact that he makes mistakes just makes him average. It doesn't make him awful.
Let me put this to you. Right. England Euros, we can take 2 right backs.
I'm absolutely taking him.
You're taking Trent?
Yes.
So who are you not taking then? You're not taking Reece James or Trippier or Walker?
Trippier and Walker can get dropped.
Ooh, no Trippier. Trippier.
I'd rather have Reece James and Trent Alexander.
Trippier's got more versatility than Reece James, though. Because Trippier can play left if needs be.
I didn't want to go down the route of England. That's all. I just wanted to know. But if clearly Sam rates him high enough to take him off.
I'm just thinking because we've got both our left backs have ligaments made of string cheese. Like having Trippier there.
We're on about pure right backs. Pure right backs, not.
Realistically, we already talked about our England squad, but we can take Trent, Reece James, and Trippier. But
I'm on about just purely in a right back position. You take 2 right backs, not for versatility. 2 pure right backs. Is what I was trying to get out.
I want to see Trent play CDM. I want to see what he'd like in the midfield because everyone keeps slating him in right back.
I can see him in the midfield.
Probably be class in midfield.
Yeah.
But I do think because he is such a high profile player, his mistakes in defence get focused on way more than your average Aston Villa or Burnley defender.
Don't forget.
In reality, he's just an average defender. He's on a similar level defensively to like most okay level defenders in the Premier League. And then his attacking contribution, his contribution in possession is elite. Probably the best in terms of fullbacks in the world.
But the problem with it is, and I think this is the biggest problem that's came out, is Trent is good when he's got a very good centre back next to him. Right. Which is the same. Which is the same situation as people don't think Joe Gomez is as good as a centre back when he's by himself. He's only good when you've got someone else there. And typically, when you are made to look good, David Luiz is one of them. When he was with Thiago Silva, he meant to look world class. He's not. When you're made to look good next,
when you have oh my god, you can't slate my centre back and then just move on. That's not how it's gonna work.
I say it, but at the end of the day, he came back to Chelsea anyway, so I've slated him at Chelsea as well. But probably a bit of a stretch, David Luiz. But if you're next to someone that's world class and it makes you look world class, I don't think you're that good.
I mean, to be honest, I think any world class player makes the players around them look better. That's just what happens.
Yeah. But when that person gets taken away and you start to show a lot of flaws, at that point...
Yeah, he's not showing that many flaws. He just has defensive errors in his game now and again. Right?
As a defender?
He's had plenty of really good games this season, including defensively, which people don't talk about. And you just focus on the mistakes.
Yeah, but he's also had some absolute shockers in defence.
Yeah, he has, but every defender has shockers.
Literally, but not getting dual passed like 16 times in a game.
He's had really bad games and he's not a world-class defender. He's not a great defender. He's just a meh defender.
Yeah, but we're also looking at this as a point of people were saying Trent was the best right-back in the world.
At one point he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
No denying that.
But I don't even think he's even in the conversation now.
I think he'd still be in the conversation.
I'd still have him in the conversation for his attacking ability, 100%.
But
you can't not say that.
In possession and in the attack, there is not a better fullback in the world.
That's like saying a striker. They can pass really well and they can hold up the play. Willian Jose, there we go. He can pass really well. He can hold up the ball, but he can't score. No, that's not helpful, is it?
One thing, Willian Jose can't really pass really well. Or hold
okay, right. But also, it's like saying Giroud. If you took Giroud's goals away from him. And all he could do is pass.
But if you take the goals away, what is he? He's not striking, is he? If you take the wheels off a bike, it's not a bike anymore, is it?
Yeah, so if you take a defender, if you take the defence, so if you take the defence out of the way of a right back, he's not a defender anymore.
Take the goals away from Giroud, what is he? What kind of statement is that?
No,
that's poor. That is.
No. What you've just said is exactly what I'm describing. You're taking the defence. No. Listen.
Trent can defend. It's not that he physically cannot defend.
He can't. He might as well curl up in a ball and just stand there. He'd do more defensive. No, Jake, that was my exact point. Is you taking the defense?
No, what I'm saying is that was a terrible example. That's what.
No. What you've just explained is exactly what I wanted you to explain. Is if you're taking the defensive side, if we're saying that Trent isn't great defensively, he can't be a defender.
He still defends and he still does an okay job for most of the time.
You could curl up in a ball and do better defensive work.
No.
Shut up.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not having it. I don't like Trent.
Oh my god.
I can't stand it.
Sam, are you basically trying to say that Trent Alexander-Arnold is underrated?
Maybe.
We'll find out later.
Well, we'll find out. Now, can we not segue to that? We've got something else to talk about.
We got Champions League, mate.
Champions League.
Are we doing that now?
Yes, we are indeed.
Well, he got terrorised in the Champions League. And speaking of the Champions League, we have to go through our predictions from last week. And we have to make some new predictions, don't we?
Yeah, so the results are in. So Real Madrid versus Liverpool to start off with. The result was 3-1 to Real Madrid. Sam, do you know what you said the result was going to be?
To Liverpool.
Yeah, so you got that wrong. So that's no points for you. Jacob, do you remember what you said?
I want to say I said...
No, you don't. You can't choose now.
No, I'm thinking of what I said. I'm thinking about me. I'm putting myself back in my shoes from back in the day, and I'm thinking I said 3-0.
Well, you're not very good at doing that then, because you said 2-1 to Real Madrid.
Oh my God, that's 4 for me. That is 4.
But you got 5 points, and I said 1-1, so I didn't get any. So
come on.
Next game was City Dortmund, and the result was
result right here.
The result was 2-1, and all of us got the result right, saying that City would win. I said it'd be 3-1. Jacob, you also said 3-1.
Yeah. You copied me in it. So.
And Sam, shut up. Sam, what did you say? Can you remember what you said?
4-1.
Yeah, so we all got 5 points there.
The sticky one.
And then this is the good one. This is Bayern versus PSG ended 3-2 PSG.
God.
Jacob, can you remember what you said?
I said 3-2 Bayern, didn't I?
You did indeed.
Oh my God.
Whereas me and Sam said it'd be 3-2 PSG, and
I'm getting forfeited here. I'm just going to concede because
we got 10 points there.
I've lost this. What's the final tally?
Prediction skill.
And then Porto v Chelsea ended 2-0 to Chelsea. Whoop, whoop. I said 2-1, so I got 5 points. Jacob, do you remember what you said?
Did I say 1-0?
No, you said 1-1.
Oh, God.
So you got that wrong as well. And Sam, can you remember what you said?
I think I said 1-0 or 2-1.
1-0 Chelsea, you said. So that's 5 points. Which means...
Screwed. I'm finished.
In terms of points this week, I got 20 points. Jacob, you got 10 points. And Sam, you also got 20 points.
Oh, my God.
Which means the total score currently is 55 to me, 55 to Sam, and 40 to Jacob.
Oh my God.
You're going to need a big comeback.
I need a big comeback here, don't I? Oh, I'm screwed. I'm finished. Just might do the forfeit now. Bloody hell.
So, if we do the second leg now then. So, Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Let's go with Jacob first. What do you think the score is going to be?
God. What is it at Anfield?
Yes, it is.
What's the current score again? 3-2? 2-1? 3-1.
In fact, actually, just so I could stop there before, so I already knew what I said I was going to put. I'm going to say it's 2-1 Liverpool, by the way.
So we don't accuse you of copying.
Yeah. I think Liverpool are going to score 2-0, 80th minute. Madrid score a goal, so it puts them through instead. Because I think if they
win that one. Remember you're going to win 2-1. Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Real Madrid, they know how to defend the lead. So I reckon they'll do that.
Cool. So Dortmund City. The current score is
this is an interesting one because
2-1.
It's 2-1 to Man City, isn't it? And
it should have been
Dortmund
2-2.
put up way more of a fight than any of us expected. We kind of expected them to get torn apart, and in the end, they should have drawn the game. So, fair play to them. And is this second leg's in Dortmund, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I can't see Man City losing this game, this tie. I can't see it. I'm gonna go for 2-1 again to Man City. Same result.
I'm going to say 2-2. I think it'll be a really interesting game. But it'll be ending a draw and Man City will go through.
I said Dortmund are going to win 2-1.
Really? That means it goes to...
yeah, it's going to extra time.
Extra time?
Yeah.
So you have to say penalties then. He wins on penalties.
Well, do I have to? Yeah. I got the result right.
Yeah, you have to say penalties. Someone has to win. It's not going to be that easy for you, bro.
Dortmund will win.
Really?
Mate, have you seen the team? Have you seen the teams that City have?
Dortmund are not. I'm sorry, but Dortmund just aren't going to win.
Have you seen the teams? Have you seen the teams Man City have been out to the last couple of years?
Yeah, but this is a different Man City. This is like proper good Man City.
Dortmund barely.
They
beat
lost to
Stuttgart
Leeds
on the weekend.
Yes, they scraped that win.
And City lost to Leeds on the weekend, so that goes two ways.
Jude Bellingham is
City.
now the youngest England scorer in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Fair play. Congratulations.
I just like Man City lost to Leeds is like a freak result,
Yeah.
whereas Dortmund have had.
I have faith
They've
in
lost
Haaland.
like 11 games in the Bundesliga this season.
Haaland
They
is
might not
going.
even get Champions League this season.
They aren't
Haaland
gonna
is
get
going
Champions League. They're like 7 points off Frankfurt.
Haaland's going to score 2 goals. He's going to bang his
forgot
penalty.
about Haaland. Did he score yesterday? Did he score against us? He
he
hasn't scored in a minute now.
assist.
He hasn't scored a professional goal. He didn't score in the international break. He didn't score in the Champions League. He hasn't scored in the Bundesliga in a while.
I don't know why we're scared. I mean, it's like a normal striker, really, isn't it? It's just because he scores every 5 seconds at the minute.
Yeah.
But he hasn't scored. I don't think he's actually scored.
It's like a 3 or 4 game drought at most.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is weird for Haaland.
Yeah, but it's not that
weird
bad
for
in terms of
Haaland.
strike.
But
Yeah.
that also means you can no longer compare him to Mbappe now because Mbappe scores for fun, which we should probably get to now because it's the second leg of the Bayern
PSG.
game. What a segue. Oh my God, I'm actually so cold of this. I need to make a montage of all of our
current score
segues.
is obviously is 3-2 to PSG. And it's at PSG. Is it? Yeah.
Bayern are. They've got no Lewandowski still. He won't be back in time. Bayern aren't going to do anything. Choupo-Moting might score a consolation goal against his old club again, which was hilarious to see. But honestly, I can't see them making.
I mean, I'm going to chuck it out there already. It's 2-1 PSG.
You love sticking into your monologue, innit? Thank you.
Yeah, because otherwise I get told that I copy people. So, I'm making sure I get it in before you say anything.
2-1 PSG. I think PSG will win as well.
Whoa. Yeah, you copy me.
Can I just... shut up. I'll say 2-0.
2-0? Okay.
Yeah.
I would laugh so hard if it ends at 2-1.
Yeah.
I'll go for 2-2. I reckon
2-2.
I reckon Bayern will go
Bayern
all out
aren't
to try
doing
and turn it around.
anything. Nah.
And PSG will do enough to hold them off.
Gosh. Right, next one.
Because both of them can't defend, so...
Yeah, fair enough. The next one is Chelsea v Porto. Not at Stamford Bridge. It's at the Sevilla Stadium again.
Yeah, you can't go Portugal, can you? Red list, innit? Sticky one still.
What are we saying?
I mean,
I'll go for 1-0
let's be honest. Yeah, Chelsea going to win that one. I'll say 2-0 Chelsea. Yeah?
Yeah.
The copies now.
Mate, I've
alright, you
typed
can
this
say.
all in. It's too much. I don't know. I wanted to say 3-1, but I think that's too many goals, and I don't want to be overconfident and then get battered.
Right, you battered Palace. You can batter Porto.
Nah,
Believe in your team?
I'm saying 2-1, Chelsea. I reckon we score 2, and then we're like, it's 4-0 on aggregate, and we concede. So that is our predictions. So I'll go through them quickly. Real Madrid, Liverpool v Madrid. I said 2-1. Jacob said, no wait, hold on. I said 2-1 Liverpool. Jacob said 2-1 Madrid, and Sam, you said 1-1. Dortmund City. I said Dortmund win 2-1 on penalties. Not on penalties. They win 2-1 and then win on penalties. Jacob, you said it'd be 2-2. Sam, you said it'd be 2-1 to City. PSG Bayern. I said it'd be 2-1 PSG. Jacob, you said it would be 2-0 PSG. Sam, you said it'd be 2-2. And Chelsea Porto, I said it'd be 2-1 Chelsea. Jacob, you said 2-0. And Sam, you said it'd be 1-0 Chelsea. All of those in favour of Chelsea, of course.
Yeah. Chelsea Porto did a madness.
Because we are just a great team.
All right, can we move on now? Because
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was trying to find a segue into it. But I was going to
trying to find the words.
I was like, do I say Chelsea are an underrated team?
You should have said Porto are the underrated team. Speaking of underrated teams, let's talk about our underrated players for today's topic of the podcast. Ewan, who do you think has been the most underrated player in your opinion? What are some of the most underrated players? We'll start underrated.
I'm sorry. There's 2 players I've got. I'm not going to lie, I haven't got any overrated players because I can't think of any off the top of my head.
It's really difficult to find
It's
overrated
hard, isn't it?
players.
Yeah.
This season in particular as well, there's not many players that are getting hype that they don't deserve.
Yeah, and also, I'm going to get loads of stick for this because I've picked 2 Chelsea players.
Of course you did.
One of them has to be said, and there's going to be an argument about this, I think Mason Mount is one of the most underrated players, and the reason is because it's only been since Tuchel has came in since people have realised it. So the majority of the Premier League anyway.
No, it's not though. It's not because people knew Mount was a baller before him.
No,
people knew Mount was a baller when he's playing for England.
No,
you don't get underrated and play for England. It doesn't happen.
Yes, you do, because people were saying Grealish should be playing over him, Foden should be playing over him.
Yeah, they
like
should be,
our friendship groups, because we have a Chelsea fan in it. A lot of our friendship
but
groups.
I get bullied for being the only Arsenal fan. It's just how it works because we're in a group of Wolves fans. That's how it's going to work.
No, I'm saying that because we've got a Chelsea fan, people have started to realise in our group because we focus on it a bit more. But there's so many people out there that still hate on Mason Mount.
Plenty of people know Mount is a baller. Plenty.
I
don't care if you're a
weird,
Stoke fan.
I think the most Mason Mount disrespect seems to come from Chelsea fans, actually. There's like a section of Chelsea fans that just do not rate it.
But it has only been recently, since Tuchel's came in, that people have said, oh yeah, Mount should probably be one of the starting England players. You can't deny that, because people were still before Tuchel. But before Tuchel, people were still saying, "Oh, Lampard and Southgate only pick him because he's English and he does all this and this."
Yeah,
Foden and Grealish should be playing over him.
Play under Tuchel.
Yeah, it's only since Tuchel's came in and he's proved to that, and then he's also played really well in the England games, that it's within the last 2 months.
I mean, the thing is, you can't really compare him to Grealish and Foden because he didn't play in the same position as them. I think you're better off comparing him to other English centre mids, maybe Rice, Calvin Phillips, and there's not really that much competition. So he gets into those positions.
I think he's
playing a 4-2-3-1. He plays as centre mid, doesn't he? He doesn't play as a cam. So he gets in that midfield.
He does, but sure.
I wouldn't put him
I wouldn't compare him to Declan Rice because they're very different players.
They're a bit deeper.
I think you're more likely to compare it to Maddison.
As an attacking, Maddison.
Yeah.
As an attacking option in that midfield position, like a centre mid position, then he gets in there over.
I don't think he. I think he can play in centre mid, but I don't think they ever play him. I mean, he plays as a number 10 for.
I wouldn't have him as a number 10 over Foden. Still,
but that's
I think
what's
Foden
happening.
is a better. I think but the thing is that Foden is just a better player than Mount. Is that really debate? Are we having a debate about that?
I think Mount's better personally. I think he.
Yeah, but you're going to say that, aren't you? You're going to say that.
Yeah, because he's underrated.
I'm telling you, as an impartial person who doesn't really care about either side. In fact, I probably made this like Chelsea a bit more.
Mount has been more consistent than Foden.
No, he hasn't. Foden has been a better player than Mount this season.
Listen. This is not the debate we're supposed to be having. So, to weigh in on it myself. I think Pepper's actually said that he doesn't think Foden's ready to play as a 10. He doesn't quite have the match intelligence. So he plays.
But Mason Mount does
usually. So for England, I would stop Mount at 10. That's it.
Yes.
Moving on.
But yeah, just to slip in my other one.
Player you got.
Oh my god.
This is one that definitely won't have been mentioned, but I think Azpilicueta.
He's not underrated though, is he?
I think he is. I don't think people.
He was underrated by previous manager. Everyone forgot about him. He wasn't underrated. It's like everyone forgot he was still there. And then
he never gets mentioned, and he's class. He is. He's just class.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you that one because no one has spoken about him. So that kind of says he's underrated.
Yeah.
So sure, you can have Azpilicueta. Yeah. But I'm not giving you Mason Mount.
Oh, boo.
Sam, would you like to say your underrated players?
Okay, so I might as well slightly stick with the Chelsea team because I have got one Chelsea player myself that I think is underrated, and that's Mateo Kovacic, who I think is up there with the best midfielders in the league, central midfielders, and he never gets in that discussion because I feel like sometimes it is difficult to realise what he does. As a midfielder, he is so important in progressing the ball forward, and that is a really underrated quality. I think in midfielders, the ability to just drive forward with the ball, whether it be passing or dribbling. And Kovacic, there's arguably not a better midfield dribbler in the league than Kovacic.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that we play through Jorginho a lot more than we do with Kovacic nowadays. Yeah. So you don't tend to see it as much. But the thing is with Cover is there's a couple of mistakes, like positional awareness. A lot of the time he struggles with. In terms of dribbling, he's like you said, one of the best in the Prem in terms of dribbling through for your strikers and your centre mids. The progression that he brings to the team is ridiculous, which also does get highlighted a lot because Jorginho doesn't do it as well.
Yeah.
We don't actually have another centre mid. Kante does do it occasionally, but not as often. But Kovacic.
That's the thing. I think if you changed around the other midfield slot, whether it's Kante or Jorginho or even like Billy Gilmour that you play in there, I think you still get fairly similar results. Whereas if you drop Kovacic, I think your side gets worse significantly in the midfield.
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult one with that because there's like with Chelsea we have 4, potentially 5 centre mids that can play there. And with each pairing, we can play such a different style. I mean, we can even put Mason Mount and Kante in there, and it will bring a completely different style of the just anything. I mean, Kante, Jorginho, more defensive. Kovacic, Jorginho, more attacking, more possession based. Billy Gilmour and Cover would work, and that'd be more progressive. There's so many different options, but Cover is the only one that brings the ball playing and driving with the ball. But yeah, I can see him being underrated. I don't think he should be. I don't think he should be given Chelsea's Player of the Season like he did last season this year. And if he does,
no. I mean, there's maybe 2 candidates at best for that. It's going to be Mason Mount. So
if Mason Mount doesn't get it, I'm selling every Chelsea item.
But,
get rid of that ugly Palace shirt as well.
I'll go on a rampage. I will go to Stamford Bridge myself. I'll make my own trophy for
That'll
Mason
be your first
Mount.
time, wouldn't it?
Shut up.
Have you been to Stamford Bridge?
When was the last time you went to the Emirates?
Oh, don't even go there.
Yeah,
I am
exactly.
a loyal fan to my club. Look at him segueing. Speaking of segue, how about I do my underrated players?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Yeah? Number 1, and I've said this before, I sing this guy's praises consistently. He's a centre-back. Can you guess who it is? Just have a little
He's
guess.
not underrated. No, I'm not having this.
Who is it? Who is it?
Well,
It's not David. I don't
It's
listen.
Gabriel.
I don't just. It's not Gabriel. He doesn't play for my club. I don't
if
just
it's
sing my
Holden.
own club's praises.
Lewis Dunk.
All right. It is Lewis Dunk.
Oh, okay.
Lewis Dunk this season has
Wait.
been top class.
I'll
Honestly,
accept that.
Lewis Dunk has actually been like. I think some people start to notice. Even my dad mentioned it yesterday. He was like, Lewis Dunk's been class. And Brighton, well, they have had an amazing season. The XG has been like, obviously, everyone talks about the XG and how they haven't scored it and they've lost games, but they've won an XG, which is just mad. Lewis Dunk has been one of probably their best centre-backs, one of the best centre-backs, I want to say, in the league, probably behind like Man City centre-backs and stuff. Like, he has been like an anchor. He's knocking on a bit, so I can't really see him moving either. So he'll probably just be a Brighton veteran until he retires. And he's just a solid player. And it's a shame he's not going to get an England cap. I think he deserves one, honestly.
Yeah.
Someone to sit next to Harry Maguire or John Stones. Both of them are kind of equal at the moment in terms of playing for England. So I would have him in there 100%. Lewis Dunk, man. What more can I say?
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's kind of a symptom of the Brighton season in that they have played some really great stuff at times, and by XG they should be like 7th in the league, and instead, because their strikers cannot finish their dinner, they're in a relegation battle. And I think it's led to a lot of Brighton's players getting underrated a bit. I think people like Trossard and Pascal Gross, they're good players and they create a lot of chances, and they don't
Danny
get
Welbeck.
the assist numbers that they should. Danny Welbeck, what a man.
I mean, it's crazy that the guy scored against United, which is just hilarious.
Yeah. But there's a couple players at Leeds that I want to highlight as well, because these guys have kind of come up from the Championship with them and just turned into high quality Premier League players. I think Mateus Klick has had a really great season. He kind of does everything in field. He actually has along with another Leeds player I'll get to in a moment, he's in the top 10 players in the league for chances created. And his defensive contribution, his energy in the midfield is just really great. And then there's Jack Harrison as well, who's the winger. And again, he's right up there for chances created in the league. Dribbles as well. And I mean, the whole Leeds squad, I think, is really good and the likes of Stuart Dallas mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Liam
I mean, the
Cooper,
defense isn't great.
Luke Haley.
I was going to pick out Rafinha as well. I think has been
Rafinha's quality. Yeah.
People just talk. I know people talk about him a lot already because he's very skillful and he's got tricks galore. Like he knows all the combos with the right stick on FIFA. But I mean, even still, he looks like a really good prospect. He's quite young, isn't he? Like in the early 20s. So
I think he's like 23, 24.
Oh, is he? Okay, a bit older. But great signing for them from Rennes. So I never saw him before.
Yeah, fair enough.
Is that all of our players?
I've got one more, and that is Richarlison, who I think doesn't get the credit he deserves in the Everton attack.
I think that's mainly to do with his injury, to be honest. He hasn't been in
true,
games.
But his numbers on the surface, his goals and assists this season aren't amazing. I think it's like 6 goals, 3 assists. So there's nothing special. And Calvert-Lewin and James Rodriguez are the ones getting all the praise, really. But he does a really important job for them in the attack, and he's still really young. He's like, how long has Richarlison been around for? He's 23.
He's been around a while, yeah.
I think also the fact he moved for like 50 million, and so that makes people skeptical. They're like, have they ever paid for him? Was it worth it? I think it was, and I think he give him like 4 years. Once he hits his prime, I think he could be one of the most dangerous attackers in the league. And he is really dangerous on this day. He's a great dribbler, physically very powerful. Needs to work on his finishing.
Yeah,
other than that, I think he's a really quality player that doesn't get the respect he deserves alongside his other teammates.
I think when you look at it, though, how good the rest of his teammates are, he might not be up there yet. I mean, the way Havertz is doing and the way Calvert-Lewin is, towards the start of the season, he was a lot better than he is now. But, in terms
Everton
of
as a whole have dropped off a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. At one point, we were talking about them being contenders for top 4.
Well, it's the same with Southampton as well. There's a couple of
Europa League.
teams.
Southampton were feeling. We had Southampton. They were at one point they were in top 4 for quite a while.
Yeah, and I tell you what, unless you guys have got any more underrated players to bring up, we'll move on to the overrated players that we've got.
Can I just start off with this one? I've just a name was being dropped in this as potentially underrated. I'm going to cause a massive argument here, right? Oh my God. And like, bearing in mind, I'm just going to put it out. Not that these players are going to watch this at all.
I might do.
You never know.
Go on.
This is a really, really harsh topic to talk about. Being overrated is quite a harsh thing to say.
Yeah, get on with it.
I'm actually going to put James Rodriguez. I think he's overhyped, if anything. I think he's a very good player, but I don't think he's been as good. Like every Leeds, no, not every Leeds game. He doesn't play for them. Every Everton game, it's like, James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez. Like,
do you know what? Actually, saying that, I won't lie. It's a decent point because I think what it is when you look at how he used to be, he's not at his heights anymore, which is fair because he's in his 30s now. But you can't deny that he has really changed that Everton side greatly.
But I just don't think he's as good as the people make him out to be, which is what an overrated is, isn't it? Really.
To be fair, like after the first 3 or 4 games of the season, people will including me, calling him like the signing of the season, and like he was going to be the best creator in the league. And to be fair, since then, dropped off a bit. And his like goal and assist output is nowhere near the level of some of the other top creators in the league. But you have to caveat it with he's been injured quite a lot. He's over the last kind of 5 years, he has very rarely made it past like 20 league games. And again, this season has struggled. I think when he's on the pitch for Everton, he's their best player. And he's like the way he drops deep, he links the play, he can score and he can assist. And like you said, he has changed this Everton side in such a dramatic way.
What I don't understand is he plays on the wing, which doesn't make any sense to me. He's not a winger.
See,
not at that speed he's got.
I think
the speed he's got, he's not a winger.
In the system that they play, it's like he plays out on the right-hand side, but he's not necessarily a winger. He's not going to run down the line and cross it in. He comes inside,
playmaker,
and he does do most of his work, like coming in on his left foot more centrally. as like an attacking midfielder. So I think it's just the way Ancelotti sets out his team. It's quite pragmatic.
Yeah.
But when he's on the ball, he does tend to be more of a central attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the problem is the way people were talking about him was on the levels of, or it seemed to be on the levels of Bruno Fernandes and De Bruyne. Like he's that good of a player type thing. But I don't think he has been that.
It's fair enough to say in that context that he was overhyped at the start of the season to an extent, and I don't know whether I'd say overrated, because does anybody still like to talk about him in that context? I don't think so. I think it's been a few months since he was really rated that highly, and he's still a very good player. So I don't know.
It was just something that annoyed me at the start of the season.
Overhyped at the start of the season is fair.
Yeah. All right.
That's all mine done.
Do you have an overrated player?
I've got a couple of overrated players.
Split through it.
I've got an Everton guy actually, so we'll stick with that theme a bit longer.
Go on.
And just because this guy I know Jacob particularly does rate, so just hear me out.
Oh.
And I'm not saying he's a bad player by any circumstances, but I think Abdoulaye Doucouré is a little bit
really
overrated. Yeah.
Did you say that? Do you not realize this guy had the best defensive rate in the Premier League last season before? One of the two couple seasons.
If you look at his numbers, his defensive numbers are fine for a midfielder. They're far from special or outstanding. I think it's 3 tackles, interceptions a game. That's for a box-to-box or defensive midfielder, that's actually not great. And Alan next to him is way higher than that. And
Alan is incredible.
He does a decent enough job, Doucouré, in the midfield, and I'm not going to criticise him too much because he's come in and he has been a good signing overall. And in that midfield, along with Alan and whoever else they play, he does a decent enough job. But if you actually watch him play and then you look at his stats, they're not as impressive as you would think. It's very few chances created, very few dribbles for someone who's supposed to be a box-to-box midfielder. We'll just carry on.
We'll just carry on.
He's still a good player, and I think people have to remember that when you say overrated, that doesn't mean we're saying bad. We're just saying a player Doucouré is another person who I think has been called one of the signings of the season at times, and some people have said he's one of the best midfielders in the league, and I think that's very, very far from being true. So
yeah, I mean, Jacob, have you got?
I do. I need to wrap it up really quickly, so I'll just get it out real quick because this might cause some debate here, but it's Bruno Fernandes. All right, now. Ooh. Now listen, because I rate Bruno Fernandes, but at the same time, recently all he's done has been a penalty merchant, and last season he was exactly the same. He broke my man's record, your boy's record, Ewan. He broke your star boy's record, and everyone's talking about how this guy's the best player in the world, and he scored about 15 penalties. I don't know if that's true.
No, I can see what you mean, but I think I think
in terms of his quality. Against bigger teams, he doesn't offer that much. And now, granted, he could do it against smaller clubs and he, whips out a bit of quality here and there. But so does Smith Rowe, okay?
And Havertz.
So does Phil Foden. So does Havertz. All these don't do exactly the same thing. The only difference is that he's got great dribblers either side who win penalties for him and then he scores them. That's really it. And when you see him in Europa League, I mean the guy's not even in Champions League, he's in Europa League and there's a couple little things in Europa League. Okay, all right. Sometimes. I mean, did he perform against Granada or AC Milan? Not really.
I don't know. I didn't watch the games.
Exactly. No one even watched it. So, I mean, he's not even playing real football. How can he be up there as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League?
I get what you mean.
Nah.
But yeah. You disagree?
I'm 50-50.
I think the only attacking midfielder better than him this season is Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, he scored 16 goals this season in the Prem. He's the 4th or 3rd top scorer in the league. And I know
How many were
fair few of them
penalties?
are penalties. There's probably 6 or 7 penalties in there. But that's still like 10 or 11 league goals for not even a striker. Plus
I
11
think-
assists.
I'm 50-50 on it, to be honest. I think he can be an overhyped in certain situations.
100%.
But he is still a very good player.
I get that he sometimes doesn't perform against like the highest teams, but you have to take
He
into
never
account
performs.
Man United.
He never
Man
performs
United are
against
not
big
actually
teams.
that good. Like compared to the elite teams, they're nowhere near
when you
as good
actually
as
look
Man City.
if you look at Man United's top 6 games, they're not great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in general.
In their games against the other, it's all like 0-0s, 1-0s. The only properly impressive result in there was the 2-0 against Man City. But
They also got battered by Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And I guess he scored the only goal in that. Bruno Fernandes penalty. Listen, I think we should leave. Go on, sir.
He's created the most chances of any player in the league this season. Like, I don't know how
Okay. All right.
far you can say that he's overrated.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sam. I'm gonna do a bit more research. I'm gonna find out why I'm wrong, and then we should resume. We'll put a pin on it.
I do
the
want to
audience
throw out one more name real quick.
on.
I know we gotta head off soon, but I think James Ward-Prowse is very overrated.
Really?
Not even
I agree.
Overrated. I think he's very overrated.
He is purely just
he shouldn't
free
be in the
kicks
England
and
conversation.
corners.
See, but what it offers free kick wise and set
but I'm
pieces.
sorry,
We've got players that can already do that. We've got players that can already do that.
Are you telling me that like you can't justify him going to the Euros just because of his free kicks? Because I actually looked at the stats the other day. In terms of chances created from dead ball situations. You know who has more than Ward-Prowse this season? Mason Mount.
Mason Mount, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, but he's already
Mason
there.
Mount
so
is. He's Mason
Mount, Trippier
or
can
Phil
do it.
Foden or Kieran
But
Trippier.
he
Reece
also,
James
he also
can do-
offers,
or
he
Jack
also offers something.
Grealish.
He also offers something a bit more defensive. I mean, who have you got other than Declan
does
Rice
he?
defensively?
Declan Rice, Jordan Henderson.
Henderson, he's better than
Jude
Henderson, don't
Bellingham.
I?
Jude Bellingham.
Impressed by Ward-Prowse's
All right, fine,
defensive output.
fine. Well, I'll agree with
Phillips.
Ward-Prowse. Fine. No, Calvin Phillips is not getting over Ward-Prowse. That's the only. That's one thing I will stop
I
my foot
don't
down.
know, man.
Defensively, I
Don't even
think he
lie.
does.
We're gonna put a pin in that because we need to come back to this because this is ridiculous.
Right, well,
No.
put down in the comments down below who you think is the most
Ward-Prowse is
overrated and
Got to
underrated.
because it's ended heated here. I cannot believe what has happened here. Absolute last minute scenes. How dare you? I can't believe this.
Go if you enjoyed the debate, go click the like button. Go
Yeah,
share who you
please.
think the most
Put it
is
in the
underrated
comments.
and most overrated. Go click that subscribe button.
Spotify,
Let's try and
share,
get
all of that.
yes, all of that links and stuff. Let's see if we can hit 30 subscribers by next week, eh?
Come on.
We're on 28.
Oh, sorry, we're on 30.
We're on 28 at the minute, so let's try and get 2
30.
more subscribers this
Two
week.
more. All right.
Yeah, it's not difficult. Just hit that button, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
All right, cheers.
See ya.